Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Temple ISD Board of Trustees on May 13th, 2019. At this time, will everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. flag and the Texas flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Our first item of business is to declare a quorum, which we do have. The second is the public forum. We do have one individual signed up tonight, and the board will now hear comments from those persons who have signed up to speak. Each person may speak for no more than 3 minutes. If there are several people wishing to speak on the same topic, we require that a spokesperson be represented part of the group. During this part of the meeting, the board will listen, will not engage in dialogue or debate with the speaker. At this time, we have Mr. Rayford Brown. Please come up here, sir. Good evening, Mr. Brown.
Hey, I'm Rayford Brown, Texas, and religion is perhaps a topic in the duty of the schools to teach that. We have no government armed with power capable of contending with human passions unbridled by morality and religion. Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to govern any other. Or morality, he concluded, as a product of religion were necessary spring, and that time frame of spring was power, of popular government. Another founder said that the two main purposes of public education were to teach Bible and morals because only a moral and just people are capable of self-government. And I think we can see that demonstrated in Washington right now. Today, Benjamin Franklin's fear has been fulfilled. We have lost our constitutional republic, which required the rule of law. Today, we are living under governments where elected officials in every branch of government are doing as they desire regardless of the law. We are living in a multi-headed oligarchy, a banana republic. We have just witnessed the State Department sold to the highest donor, an attempted coup by the CIA, DOJ, and FBI. In the next few months, you will witness an attempt at a return to law. If it fails, may God have mercy on our pitiful souls as we race toward Venezuela in the gutter. The Bible is replete with stories of God using less than perfect people. Perfect people do not exist. H.R. 5, which is called the Equality Act, that makes LGBTQ a protected class, has every Democrat signed on in the House as a co-sponsor. And the Bill 788, I think I recall, also has a large number of co-sponsors. Is that the time? All right, so this law, equality law, if passed, would end religion in the churches. They can't talk about LGBTQ. Thank you.
All right. Item 4 is superintendent's recognition. Mrs. Parks.
Good evening. It is a pleasure to be here this evening. We have several recognitions to make this evening, and I think we have several guests in our audience, so please know that the recognitions that we make here at the board meetings each month are really about statewide awards and recognitions. So every award that will be given tonight, whether it's a student, a staff member, or even some of our community members and community partners, have all been recognized at the state level. So we truly are proud of our district's accomplishments for our students and staff, and we couldn't do it without our partners. So to begin with, we're going to start with some fine arts recognitions. The first is for the 2019 TCDA All-State Choir. We had an 8th grader for the first time make it to be selected to the Texas Choral Directors Association Middle School All-State Choir, and that is Thomas Painter. And he is with us this evening. Here, Thomas, I'm going to give this to you. And then if you will go and shake hands with the board members. And I'll tell you a little bit about this award. Thomas will get to rehearse and perform with the choir in July at the state convention in San Antonio. He was one of only 200 students selected statewide for this honor. And congratulations, Thomas. We are so proud of you. There you go. Perfect.
1, 2, 3. Let us add that he is a Lamar Bearcat.
He is a Lamar Bearcat student. Yes. Congratulations, Thomas. Great job. Congratulations. Yes. No more humiliation, I promise. The next recognition is for our state VASE contest art students. And the Visual Arts Scholastic event is the only one of its kind in the United States. This is a 2-part competition, and the score is based on actual artwork plus a one-on-one interview process with a judge. The student must not only be able to use their skills, techniques, and creativity, but also must talk about their respective pieces in an academically based conversation. Students compete with students across our region regardless of the class size. If they receive an exemplary, which is the highest rating, they are rejudged in area and must receive an exemplary to advance to state to be judged again. This year, there were more than 35,000 entries at the regional level. Approximately 2,200 qualified for state VASE. Temple High School students Carly Moore and Victoria Aramanda were state qualifiers, which puts them in the top 6% of the state competition. So we have Carly right here, and she also has her artwork with her. Congratulations, Carly. They'll want to see it and shake your hand. And then we also have Victoria. Victoria was not able to join us this evening, but Rhonda Ramirez and Stephen Bishop are their teachers, and we are so proud of that honor. So congratulations to you guys. Carly, if you'll stand between Dr. Ott and Mr. Posey, that'll be perfect. Perfect.
1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, Carly. And our next recognition is for our UIL Theatrical Design students. And the UIL Design Competition is divided into 2 divisions, so there are hundreds of entries and very few make it to the state level. This year's contest involved designs to produce Raoul Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in a way that it had not been produced before. The target audience for the design was specifically as children, and the adults who love them. 8 Temple High School students advanced to the state finals in the annual UIL Theatrical Design Contest. For set design, we have Ashlyn Farley and Anthony Williamson. Ashley's not here. Okay. Would you take Ashley's?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Missing ones?
Sure.
Yeah, I got it.
They will want to shake your hands. For costume design, we have Brianna Alexander and Rebecca Alley. Congratulations. Go and shake your hands. And for group design, we have Isabel Pullman, Morgan Matson, Olivia Cabrera, and Allison Quiros. Okay, let's see, Isabel. Morgan, not here. Olivia, thank you. Congratulations, guys. I want to shake your hand. And actually, this last group was our state winner. They did place 5th grade in the state. Isabella, Morgan, Olivia, and Allison. So congratulations to all of you. Congratulations, guys. Don't go back. I'm gonna call you again. So now is the recognition of UIL's State One-Act Play finalist. Out of 254 schools that started the UIL One-Act Play season in the 6A classification, Temple Theater once again advanced to state. This is the 4th time in the last 5 years that our theater department has advanced to state, and our 1st year in the 6A classification. Temple High School came in 5th at the state meet on April 25th. 2 individual students also received acting awards at the state meet. Sierra Amelbert was named to the State Honorable Mention All-Star Cast. And Seth Little was named to the State All-Star Cast. Yeah, perfect.
Here, 1, 2, 3.
And now we would like to recognize the entire cast. As Seth and Sierra stay here, we will call the other cast members and crew members. I will just say their names so you can hear their names as they come through. We have Cass, Sierra Amelbert, Seth Little, Corinne Eckenrode, Jasmine Buckner, Rebecca Alley, Olivia Cabrera, Serenity Patterson, Anthony Williamson, and Kylie Burke. With the crew, Allison Quiros, Ricardo Fontanez, Michael Jones, Isabel Pullman, Anaya Harris. Alternates were Brianna Alexander, Tori Culp, Daniel Salazar, Mamansha Shrestha, and on site crew we have Terry Austin, Bailey Black, Lauren Bruckbauer, Daisy Delaney, Jonathan Eccles, Ashlyn Farley, Colin Fowler, Penelope Gonzalez, Raymond Garcia, Caleb Gommert, Matthew Harris, Alan Heitmans, Chris Hitt, Tajane Jackson Glass, Jillian Knox, Erica Lynch, Jose Martinez Torres, Simon Juarez, Carlia Pulamer, Audrey Portillo, Michael Rodriguez, and of course our fantastic directors, Natasha Tollison, Carlin Gilseth, Kayla Stewart, and Spencer Tollison.
They have a presentation for Dr.
Okay.
Sierra. So they have a very special presentation to Dr. Ott as a thank you for all of his support during this one-act season.
I thought his name was Conchita. This is my favorite sign in the whole place. This is going on.
We are so very proud of you guys. Great, great job. Thank you for keeping the tradition alive and for all your hard work. So, thank you.
Okay, maybe we should put some of them on, can y'all scoot out, maybe some of y'all could like, get down on the.
Or just squat a little. Just squat. Squatting will work. That's good. That works. They're young. They're good.
to scoot into?
Great job, Beth.
Congratulations, all of you. Great job. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Our next pair of recognitions recognize two of our staff members. We are pleased to honor two staff members who were named statewide semifinalists for HEB's Excellence in Education Awards. Billy Madden, if you will come up, is the principal of Lamar Middle School, and he was named a semifinalist for the Principal Award. And this honor is designed to recognize outstanding campus leaders who excel in the following criteria: leadership, campus culture, instructional leadership and management, and communication and community relations. So congratulations, Dr. Madden. Yes, this is true. We are also pleased to introduce Marybeth Brown, who is the PLTW lead teacher at Kennedy Powell, and she was named a semifinalist for the Teacher Award. And this honor is designed to recognize outstanding teachers who excel in the following criteria: passion and commitment to the teaching profession, innovation and creativity in the classroom, professional growth and development. Thank you, Christine. I'm going to shake your hands. Yeah.
I don't want to hide. Oh, no, I don't want anybody
Okay.
to hide behind.
There you, here. Yeah, Marybeth, scooch in there. There you go. Perfect.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Congratulations to you both. Thank you. And our next pair of recognitions honors our community members that are so very supportive of Temple ISD, and we could not do what we do every day without them. The first recognition is the TASB Business Recognition Program for the Temple Chamber of Commerce. And I know we have several people here with the Chamber today, so if you'd like to come up as I read the award. Chamber of Commerce has partnered to support Temple ISD in so many ways, from fostering strategic partnerships with area businesses and industries to advocating for our school district on legislative issues to hosting various forums that allow the district to connect with local stakeholders to move the entire community forward. We know the value of the help that we receive from our partners like the Chamber, and we are truly, truly grateful to honor you in this way. So we nominated you, and you were selected by TASB as a business through their business recognition program for being an outstanding partner and standing up for Texas Public Schools. So we truly appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Find a window. Find a window. Mhm. We have a second award. Again, we nominated In addition, the Temple Economic Development Corporation for this award, and they were also selected for this TASB award. And I know we have members of the TEDC with us as well. And again, our partnerships are so important, and we could not do what we do without them. We know the value of the help that we receive from these organizations, and particularly the EDC, and we truly, truly are grateful for all that you do to support our schools. Here we have your certificate as well.
Thank you so much.
And a pen.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Good to see you, dear.
And they'll want to shake your hand as well. The EDC is also key in helping us to foster strategic partnerships that help our kids excel, and they have also been huge advocates for us at both the local and state level on legislative issues, and we are truly grateful for their generosity. That's okay. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Oh, one more. One more.
Bridget asked you to get some photos. One, three.
If you're here for the public recognition, you're more than welcome to stay for a board meeting, but if you'd like to go, that's fine too, so, yeah. All right, item 5 is executive hires. Mr. Palmer.
Mr. Posey, Dr. Ott, members of the board, we have several executive hires tonight. I'm going to start with the first one. The campus committee of Meridith-Dunbar Early Childhood Academy, and if you're from Meridith-Dunbar, would you stand up? Those teachers, they're all right there together. Should have known. Probably got a rope between them somewhere. Including Beth Jenowitz, Connie Cisneros, Emma Suit, Sherry Hill, Danette Garner, Paula Willis, Valerie Rangel, Carrie Sanchez, Roxana Luna, Denise Chisholm, Laura Abel, and Nydia Kadavid. They selected 6 candidates to interview from a field of 27 qualified applicants. After the interviews on April 18, 2019, that committee sent 3 names to the senior leadership team, which is Dr. Ott and the assistant superintendents. And on April 23, 2019, the senior leadership team interviewed the finalists and selected Nicole Murphy. Ms. Murphy, would you stand up where you, there she is, right there, as a candidate to be recommended to the board for the position of principal at Meridith-Dunbar Early Childhood Academy and to replace Lynn Brock, who's retiring at the end of this school year. Ms. Murphy earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Interdisciplinary Studies and a Master's degree in Educational Administration, both from Texas State University. She has also earned additional graduate training in both Master Reading Teacher program and also in Reading Recovery Specialist. She began her teaching career on Northside ISD and worked in Eanes, which is Westlake, for those of us that remember the football games, and Austin ISD prior to her current position as an assistant superintendent at Frost Elementary, which is in Georgetown ISD. Miss Murphy grew up in Temple, attended Thornton, Bonham, and Temple High School, and she's married to Todd Elliott, who's also a TISD alumni, and is the proud stepmom of Megan, Jake, and James. So at this time, Mr. Posey, our committee recommends to the board Nicole Murphy as principal at Meridith-Dunbar Pre-K Academy.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Do the board members have any questions about this? If not, this requires a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dr. Sanhi. There's-
Second.
Second by Mrs. Davis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Would you like to come up?
Dr. Ott, Mr. Posey, and Board of Trustees, as well as the committee from Meridith-Dunbar Early Childhood Academy, thank you. I am grateful to have this opportunity to lead the district where I grew up and attended school. My parents, Jay and Linda Crowley, are here, as well as my husband and my stepson, James. My goal is to ensure the families that are eligible for pre-K in Temple are aware of the great program that Temple Independent School District offers. I will strive to ensure that the pre-K students are not only prepared for kindergarten, but have a strong foundation that serves them well after kindergarten. As the new principal of Meridith-Dunbar Early Childhood Academy, I look forward to building strong ties with our community and creating opportunities for students to meet and see the community as leaders, community leaders as partners and role models. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good job. I'm excited for you. I'm gonna have her parents and husbands, sons stand up just so everybody
Joe.
can see who you are. There you go. She needs to come around. Oh, come around? Oh, okay, yeah. Why don't you come? They like for you to shake the board's hand on.
We'd like to see you up close.
Yeah. I try to keep you out of it, but they always.
Except I lose my shoe, I'll be the only
Yeah, that's. I like the fact that her whole speech was on a little bitty sheet of paper like this, which is a good indicator she's a good pre-K person. So, all right, this time I'm going to ask Donna Ward, who is, make sure I get this right, Donna, who is Director of Employee Relations.
Yes, good
There you
job.
go. To make the presentation for our next candidate.
Okay, the campus committee from Western Hills Elementary, if you guys would stand up wherever you are. All of you, good job. Including Christina Blair, Alyssa Connor, Stacy Faree, Veronica Flowers Moten, Shannon Gellner, Beth Jenowitz, Brooke Guerra, Christy Hall, Courtney McCall, Angela McQuiston, Tricia Mitchell, Ashley Mercer, and Becky Olson selected 6 candidates to interview from a field of 37 qualified applicants. After interviews on April 25th, 2019, the committee sent 3 names to the senior leadership team. On April 30th, 2019, the senior leadership team interviewed the finalists and selected Miss Tiffany Vestal. Where are you, Tiffany? As the candidate to be recommended to the board for the position of principal of Western Hills Elementary to replace, not that we can, Miss Kathy Cook, who is retiring at the end of this school year. Miss Vestal holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in Interdisciplinary Studies from Texas A&M University and a Master's in Educational Leadership from Lamar University. Ms. Vestal served as a teacher, instructional coach, and assistant principal in Temple ISD prior to serving in her current position as Coordinator of Assessment and Data Management. She is married to Ian Vestal, Director of School Nutrition, and they have 2 children, Tegan and Audrey, and I believe they're back there as well. Yes. And they're a little bit short. So at this time, Mr. Posey, the committee would like to recommend Tiffany Vestal as the new principal at Western Hills Elementary.
All right, well, thank you. Do the board members have any questions? Move for approval. Second? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Okay, Tiffany.
Congratulations.
would like to begin by thanking the board, Dr. Ott, and the members of both interview committees for putting their faith in me. I feel like I'm coming home and I'm very excited to be a part of the Western Hills family once again. Next, I would like to thank my family for their love and support. My husband, Ian Vestal, also works for the district as the Director of School Nutrition. Our daughter, Tegan, is a kindergartner at Western Hills, and our youngest daughter, the hot mess, Audrey, has another year in preschool before joining us. Although I do have to admit, I have already RSVP'd a spot for her in one of our kinder classes for the 2020 school year. My plan for Western Hills is to continue the tradition of excellence by focusing on academic growth for all students. We will achieve this by diving deeper into blended learning, which increases student engagement and ownership of their learning. Another goal of mine is to focus on the whole child by giving more opportunities to learn skills outside of the classroom. We will accomplish this by looking for ways to expand opportunities, such as the garden club at the lower grade levels. I am looking forward to serving in this new capacity at Western Hills. Thank you so much again for this opportunity.
As Tiffany shakes board members' hands, I just want to express one more time on behalf of the senior leadership how grateful we are to the dedication and the hard work that Kathy Cook put into this job for the last 5 years. Just amazing where she's taken the school. It is absolutely ready for Tiffany to come on board. And Tegan, I have your $5 for Chick-fil-A if you'd like to come get it to get your ice cream. So you had to come get it, though. There you go.
Oh, she's so cute.
Don't buy mom or dad anything, okay? All right, next, ask for Miss Adams to
Just one
present our
second,
next
please.
candidate.
Just want to confirm that the motion was made by Ms. Suarez and seconded by Mrs. Gowan. So just for the record.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Mr. Posey. So good evening, board. I have the privilege of announcing the last executive hire. So the Thornton Principal Committee consisting, if the committee is here from Thornton, if you'd please stand. No, they're all in the back. They're already standing. I should have seen you, Ms. Tyson. So funny. So the committee consisting of Helen Alvarez, Britta Bohach, Christy Burke, Stella Cardenas, Gail Duncan, Beth Jenowitz, Amber Ghana, Crystal Moody, Angela Pearson, Ana Perez, Connie Cisneros, Sandra Vargas, and Whitney Wilburn selected and interviewed 6 candidates on May 2nd, 2019 from a field of 26 qualified applicants. 3 finalists were recommended to the senior leadership team comprised of Dr. Ott and the assistant superintendents. The SLT interviewed the 3 finalists recommended by the Thornton Campus Committee and unanimously selected Ms. Michelle Moore for the finalists as the new principal pending board approval. Ms. Moore has come up from the ranks in Temple ISD and is extremely excited about being the new principal for the Thunderbirds. She's currently the assistant principal at Lamar Middle School, but she was also a student in Temple ISD, an instructional aide at Meridith-Dunbar, a teacher, and an instructional coach prior to her current position. Ms. Moore has a bachelor's degree from UMHB and a master's of art in teaching from the National University in San Diego and a master's in educational leadership from Lamar University. She is true blue Temple. Mr. Posey and the committee would like to recommend Ms. Michelle Moore as the new principal at Thornton Elementary School.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Adams. Any questions? Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Motion by Mr. Gaines, and is there, the second is by Mrs. Suarez. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank God for giving me the heart of a servant leader. Mr. Posey, Board Trustees, Dr. Ott, I am truly grateful for the opportunity to serve as principal in TISD. My ambition has always been to serve the communities that have been influential in making me the educator that I am today. Thank you and the leadership team of TISD for allowing me the privilege to continue my journey of serving students and families in our district. I'd like to acknowledge some of my village that's here today. I have my daughter with me, Janasia. I have my grandmother, just wave your hand with you. I have my aunt here, several. My brother and his lovely wife and family have traveled here from Austin to be with me tonight. And a host of friends, co-workers, and other supporters. To my dear family, you have supported and encouraged me unconditionally throughout this journey with unwavering love and understanding. I thank you for being my biggest fans. Lastly, but certainly not least, to the Thunderbird family, I am truly honored to be your principal. I commit to serve the staff, students, and families of Thornton Elementary with the relentless motivation to be the school of choice for the community we serve. I anticipate the great learning experiences we will provide for our students and the memories we will make together. Again, it is truly an honor. Thank you.
I just want to say, I guess there was a lot of excitement about Mrs. Moore. We'd had a couple seconds up here, it allowed more than one.
I had to sit on my hands.
So again, congratulations. Thank you. All right, item 6 is the board president's report. Item A is administration of office to the newly elected board members. The oath of office will be administered to the newly elected board members. A copy of the forms is in our packet. District 1, Virginia Suarez, for 2019 to 2022. And District 6, Shannon Gowan, 2019 through 2022. Tammy?
Good evening. Shannon Gowan and Virginia Suarez. We have the statement of officer, if y'all would follow along with that. And I state your name. Where? That I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised. That I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute. Or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote. Any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote. At the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment for confirmation, whichever may be the case, so help me God. At the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be, so help me God. And they are elected Virginia Suarez for the Board of Trustee for District 1 and for Shannon Gowan for District 6. And then we have the oath of office, and that one's a little shorter, so if y'all just want to, we'll just read it together. I, and state your name. I, Shannon Gowan. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Trustee, Board of Trustee of the State of Texas, and will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of this state, so help me God. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Temple ISD Board of Trustees of the State of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, And I have 2 forms for you to notarize. Want to do that now or after the meeting? Now.
Just want to congratulate Virginia and Shannon returning to the board. I know we've enjoyed your participation, and thank you very much for your service, and look forward for the next 3 years of your service on the board. So, thank you.
And I would just like to make one comment as a superintendent. They are both very active board members, and we, on behalf of administration and staff, appreciate your support and your guidance the last several years and look forward to continued partnership. Thank you, Virginia, and thank you, Shannon. Congratulations.
Okay. Item B is the TISD School Board Officer Selection. According to policy BDAA local, the board shall elect a president, a vice president, and a secretary who should be members of the board. Officers should be elected by majority vote of the members present and voting for the year June 2019 through May 2020. Recommendations will be received for each individual position. Board officers shall serve for a term of 1 year until a successor is elected. Officers may succeed themselves in office. Each officer shall perform any legal duties of the office and other duties as required by action of the board. The first board position that we will have elections on is for the office of president.
I would like to nominate Mr. Dan Posey for another year as a president.
Motion for Dan Posey by Dr. Sanhi.
I second the motion.
Second by Mrs. Davis. Any other nominations? Anybody?
It's been moved to second, so.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. 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 The ayes have it. And just want to say thank you very much for your confidence in me. I've been on the board 7.5 years now. It's the best thing I've ever done. And I enjoy working with all the board members and the administration. This has been a joy, and thank you for allowing me to lead y'all for the next year. Thank you. The second office is Office of Vice President. Are there any nominations? Mrs. Davis?
I nominate Ronnie Gaines.
Nomination of Ronnie Gaines,
I'll second.
seconded by Dr. Sanhi. Any other nominations? There's been a second. All in favor of Ronnie Gaines as Vice President, signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Ronnie, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Posey. I've been on the board now for 5 years, and I have really enjoyed it. It's been a privilege to work with all of the district and really to understand what goes on in the district. It's made a difference in my life, and hopefully I've made a difference in the district. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ronnie. Thank you. Appreciate it. The last office is Office of Secretary. Are there any nominations?
I would nominate Virginia Suarez for the next year as a secretary.
A nomination of Virginia Suarez by Dr. Sanhi,
Second that motion.
seconded by Mr. Gaines. Any other nominations? All in favor of Virginia Suarez for secretary, signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Appreciate your service. Okay. Item C is designation of delegate and alternate to the TASB Delegate Assembly, which is September 21st in Dallas. And this is the annual business meeting held with the TASB Convention on September 20th through the 22nd. And the delegate assembly is that Saturday, September 21st. Tonight, well, actually, just to let you know, in your packet, Linnell Davis was the 2018-29 delegate, and Ronnie Gaines was the alternate. Just wanted to make everybody aware of that tonight. Next month, we will actually decide on the delegate. So if you would like to be a delegate, just let myself or Dr. Ott know, and check your schedules if you're able to go. And then we will pick a delegate and an alternate in June. Okay. The item D is the TASB request for advocacy resolutions. That is in your board packet. This is what TASB sends out every year. And purpose tonight is just to make everybody aware. And if there are any resolutions that you would like to have submitted to TASB on behalf of the district, if you could submit them to Dr. Ott, myself, and we'll vote on them at the June board meeting. So just want to give everybody time to consider that. And then E is a designation of facilities and policy committee members for 2019, 2020. And the current committee members, we serve through June 2019. And the realignment begins on July 2019. And the first meeting is not scheduled until August unless a special meeting is called for in July. And for the policy committee, I know it's Linnell Davis is chairing it. It's Dr. Sanhi and myself. I'm moving over to policy. And for the facilities committee, it's Mr. Gaines is chairing it, and Ms. Suarez, Ms. Myers, and Ms. Gowan are also on that committee. Is that fine with all the board members? Okay, thank you. And are there any future items of discussion that the board would like to discuss at a future board meeting? Okay, I'll turn over to Dr. Ott for important dates.
You want to do future? You already did that? Yeah. Okay, if I can draw your attention to the important dates chart in your board packet. I do want to rewind a little bit, and I don't see Teresa Jones out here. But last Friday, my superintendent's student advisory committee had the opportunity in working with Teresa Jones, our Fort Hood educational liaison, to take a leadership trip out to Fort Hood and spend a half a day. And we had a chance to learn a lot in terms of new experiences, but really more about leadership from the men and women who serve our country. And it was a fantastic opportunity. And I don't see her here, but I did want to thank her publicly for that. If we can look at the dates, this week is STAR testing, grades 3 through 8 for reading. And then I also believe we have science this week as well, 5th and 8th grade. Tomorrow we have our new teacher celebration at 4:30. And then we also have TISD the season for banquets. So we have the FFA annual banquet also tomorrow evening. We have the Superintendent Scholars Banquet. That's actually going to be this Wednesday up here on the second floor. It's the first time we've ever done this. And it's to honor the top 10, not 10%, but top 10 students in both the freshman, sophomore, and junior classes. As you know, we have a separate banquet for our top 10 seniors. So this is an opportunity to honor the journey along the way that these students are taking to get to that culminating senior year. We also have the City of Temple Teen Court Banquet. That is the same evening, Wednesday evening. If you turn to the next page, as I said, several banquets. We have the Girl Scout Women of Distinction celebration. That's May 16th, this Thursday. Little Wildcat Relays, if you have not attended that before, I'd encourage you to go anywhere between 8 and noon this Friday to the stadium. It's a chance for all of our elementary students to compete in different events. It's really a fun opportunity. We have May 17th, we have the band banquet, we have the kitten banquet, and then the 18th, the NAACP Scholarship Banquet at Temple College, 6:30. May 20th, the Temple High School Awards Banquet, and I believe Dr. Sangi is going to kick that off for us. Excited about that. May 21st, we have the Spring Board Workshop for TASB. I believe we have 2 people signed up for that, Ronnie and Linnell. 2, 3? Oh, Sandy as well. Okay, so we have 3 at this point. Sign up for that. May 22nd, our retirement banquet. It's a very special time to come out and support the educators that have poured so much into public education. That's at Temple Bible Church at noon, and HR puts on the program. The 23rd, the Wildcat Mentor End of Year event at Lions Junction Water Park. Those of you that are mentors, please attend. And May 23rd, we'll be having a blended learning celebration showcase, and this will be at 4:15 up here on the second floor. This is an opportunity for our teachers that participated in blended learning this last cohort to not only come and be celebrated, but they actually have artifacts that they're going to share with teachers that are going to be in future cohorts. So it's an opportunity for sharing as well, thought sharing. May 24th, at Temple High School at 1 p.m., we will have a fine arts signing. This is the first time we've ever had this in the school district. So as you know, we have athletic signings, but we have a lot of great programs that send kids to college on scholarship. So I believe we have 11 that we are honoring, and we're going to do it up just like the athletic signing. So it's going to be a very special occasion. I would encourage you to be there. I know a lot of families will be there as well. May 29th, we have our school board policy committee. And then the 30th, our facilities committee. And I put the June dates there because I know many of you are planning vacations. Obviously, we have our 130th graduation ceremony. That is 10 o'clock, Bell County Expo Center, June 1st. Very excited to do that and to go through that ceremony with you guys for the first time. School board retreat, June 6th. That'll be over long-range planning. And then we have several board meetings in June due to budget adoption. June 10th, that'll be revenues, and that's actually combined with the regular meeting. We decided to collapse those two. That worked out very well last year. And then we have a special meeting June 13th on expenditures. And then June 27th, we actually adopt the budget. And I will tell you, we're not sure what direction that's going to go because nobody has a clear picture of revenue at this point due to the legislative session. So hopefully that picture becomes more clear in the next couple of weeks. As always, you have an attachment. It's a fine arts addendum. It's a list of several dates for the very end of the school year. All of our different choir and band and dance performances are all listed there as well for you. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Ott, thank you very much. Item 7 is consent items. Consideration for approval of the following group of items. The recommendation is to approve consent agenda items 7A through H2. Is there a recommendation and pleasure of the board?
I move to approve all items as one.
Motion to approve all items by Ms. Gowan.
Second.
Second by Ms. Myers. Or Ms. Davis, I'm sorry. Ms. Davis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. 8 is action items. A, human resources. Mr. Palmer.
Thank you once again, Mr. Posey, Dr. Ott, members of the board. Two different proposals tonight or recommendations. One comes for 18-19, some folks that we need now. And so if you'll look at those, one is an RN and the other is a coach, Mr. Boutwell and Ms. Fox. So that'll be the first that I'd present to you. One is over at Scott as an RN, and then it's our strength and conditioning.
Any questions for Mr. Palmer?
Move for approval plus the addendum.
Motion by Ms. Suarez. Is there a second by Mrs. Davis? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. 2 is consideration for approval of 2019-2020 personnel.
Okay, there are new hires that you have, I believe, 2 sheets and then an addendum. These are basically, as most of you probably know, the district or the campus hires are made by the campus principals, and they get out and work on these very early. Once we get into June, the hires get much more difficult. So our goal is to have everyone hired by the end of May. That goal usually changes when some people leave about that time. But at this point in time, these would be the hires that are coming to the board for 1920 school year.
All right, thank you, Mr. Palmer. Any questions? Does require a motion.
I move for approval.
Motion by Mrs. Myers,
I'll second.
second by Dr. Sanhi. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye, the ayes have it. Item 3, consideration for approval of superintendent's recommendations regarding employment and contract status of assistant principals, classroom teachers, and other administrative and non-administrative professional personnel, reemploy probationary contract employees, terminate probationary contract employees, renew term contract employees, and propose non-renewal of term contract employees. And a list of these recommendations are in their board packet.
Would you like for me to read those names, Mr. Posey?
Sure. Unless it's the pleasure of the board.
I doubt no one's going to want that pleasure.
Yeah.
I will say that for, I guess, maybe at least for the last 5 or 6 years, there's no one to come to the board for a non-renewal.
Okay.
So once again, we have resignations for all those that are leaving Temple.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Palmer?
The only other thing I can think on this is just for information is that, one, anyone that comes to the district by new policy, they will be on probation for 3 years. There is a rule that if they've taught 5 out of 8, they can stay on probation just 1 year, but the policy was approved that they would be on probationary contract for 3 years. This really gives our principals more time to make a decision as to the value and the productivity of the teachers. So, and then after 3 years, the ones that you'll see a first-year term. That means they've just come off of 3 years and they've gone to a term contract, which means basically they have Chapter 21 protection. Okay.
Right. Any questions? Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Thank you.
Motion by Mr. Gaines,
Second the motion.
second by Mrs. Davis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I really appreciate your trust.
B is curriculum and instructions, and there are no items tonight. C is finance and facilities. C1, consideration action with respect to authorizing the issuance of Temple Independent School District unlimited tax school building bonds, approving an official statement, authorizing execution of a paying agent registrar agreement, establishing procedures for selling and delivering the bonds, and authorizing other matters related to the issuance of the bonds.
Mr. Posey, we have 2 people with us tonight that will be presenting. You've probably seen them before, Jennifer Ritter and Bart Fowler. Jennifer Ritter is our financial advisor with Specialized Public Finance. Bart Fowler is bond counsel with McCall, Parkhurst, and Horton, and they want to explain our last piece. This is the last piece of the 2015 bond that we'll be selling, that we are seeking authorization for tonight to sell in the near future.
Jennifer, Bart, thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate being here. So, as Mr. Boyd mentioned, this is closing out the 2015 authorization, the remaining $30 million that you have. We've been very successful going to the market on the prior 2 issues, and this will wrap that up. We think the timing will be good, given where the market is, to hopefully be able to deliver these projects within the tax rate the voters were told. I know there's a lot of items on the agenda for you to approve, but the action that we're asking for from you tonight is simply to give the authority to approve the pricing itself to Mr. Boyd, the superintendent, to do that on your behalf. And the reason that we ask for that authority is because of the size of the district and the debt that you have outstanding. State law allows you to delegate pricings in this case, and that allows us to pick the best day in the market, aside from having to. Otherwise, we have to go out in the market on the day that your board meets. If it's not a good day in the market, we're kind of stuck with it. So this has been our procedure on the last couple of sales as well. It's probably what you're used to. But assuming that you actually take action tonight to move forward, we're trying to compress the schedule as quickly as possible. We've been meeting with your finance staff for quite some time talking about this. We've already applied for the permanent school fund guarantee, so we'll have that later this month to get the AAA guarantee of the state of Texas to attach to this bond issue. ensuring that you get the lowest interest rate in the market based on that credit rating, in addition to your AA minus existing rating, which we expect to have affirmed. We have a call scheduled this week, actually, with Standard & Poor's to have that rating affirmed. And then we're in a pretty quick turnaround. We're actually going to try and go back and price on June 6th. So we're trying to hit the market quickly, and the reason being primarily is that in the bond market right now, there's not a lot of volume. There's not a lot of people selling tax-exempt bonds. What's likely going to happen over the next couple of weeks is that in May, we had quite a few school districts pass large bond elections in Texas. So they're going to come to market as quickly as they can. They have a 30-day canvas period after they pass a bond election, so we're really trying to beat some of those other districts to market, not for any other reason than just trying to have the market attention on Temple ISD the day that we price. So that's the goal here, is to get you the best deal on the market. We priced Belton ISD a couple of weeks ago for a slightly smaller deal, but they got quite a good response because simply there's not a lot of tax-exempt bonds out there in the market right now. The stock market's not doing great for the past week or so, so a lot of people are putting their money into what they consider to be sort of safe investments, like a Temple ISD bond issue. So assuming that you approve tonight, we'd be in a position to price on June 6th and actually have funds to you by July 9th as a projection. So Mr. Fowler is here, who's your bond attorney. I can talk about the market as much as you want. I don't really have numbers because we haven't priced yet, but he can talk about the actual order and what you're being asked to approve tonight.
Thank you. For the record, again, my name is Bart Fowler with McCall Parkhurst and Horton. It's my pleasure to serve you all as bond counsel. The order in front of you tonight really does everything that Jennifer said it does. It delegates the pricing within the next 12 months to the Assistant Superintendent of Finance, or in his absence, the Superintendent, to give effect to the pricing once the market is good. The one thing that I'll add that Jennifer did mention, it is good for 12 months. You have a 12-month period between, if you approve it tonight, between now and a year from now to actually give effect to the pricing. The expectation is certainly to get this done within the next few months. If the market changes dramatically and we're not able to do that, typically we would come back to you anyway for either additional authorization or to give you an update about what happened, why we didn't do it in the June, July timeframe. So just understand that it's good for 12 months, but more than likely we will come back if something significant did happen. Happy to answer your questions, happy to go through the bond order. I think most of you have seen it before or may understand the process some, but certainly happy to spend time walking through it if you'd like. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them.
I think this is what we did for the first part of the bond, the exact same motion.
I think you may have done it for the, well, I'm trying to remember the last one was a refunding or was that just new money? But you have done this process at least twice before, right?
Okay. Yes. Right, the first part.
Yeah.
Okay.
We broke this bond up into, this would be the third piece of it. We sold 70 million first, 35 next, 30-ish. I'm ballparking on this last one. So we didn't sell it all at first because, one, we didn't need it all, and there's a time frame in which you need to, you have to expend that by law when you sell a bond. The other piece of that is, too, if you don't need it yet, there's no need to sell it and begin paying interest on it either. So so that's why we've waited. And I might just say, I think I can speak for Callan too on this. These two people, we really, really appreciate the advice and the guidance that they provide us, and their assistance is remarkable, and we're in good hands with them. And I appreciate the way they've helped us navigate, and we've always before had gotten good rates and good sales, so I have no doubt that that we'll be able to do that again.
And this will be completing our bond.
Yes, sir.
2015
This
bond.
is the third piece of that. So we anticipate, over the next couple of years, this last piece being expended out, if you will.
Okay.
That is a good point. After this issuance, if you do issue the entire $30 million, you'll have no more voted authorization remaining.
Right. Okay. Board members, are there any questions? All right, this does require a motion.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Gaines.
Second.
Oh, second by Dr. Sahni. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Thank y'all very much for coming. Appreciate it.
And I do want to thank you for your guidance in this. I think it's a very smart strategy to take advantage of the canvassing period during for the ones that have already gone out for election. I mean, there were a lot of school districts that did. in May. So I think that we'll, really have a good response. But thank the both of you, Callan, Kent, appreciate you guys too, for looking out for the best interest of the district. Thank you.
And may I just interject one more time? When this is all said and done, we'll be able to, we'll adopt a tax rate that'll include all of this. And while I don't know what that is today yet, I can tell you that the tax rate that we'll end up adopting to pay off this debt, to support this debt, will be several cents below what we initially projected when we went out for this bond. And part of that is good fortune with, I'd like to take credit for it all, but part of it's good fortune with interest rates. But part of it's been very wise advice from these folks, and we appreciate that. And we have a strong economy in Temple, and that's the other leg to the stool that really helps us at this point in time. So again, we're going to come in significantly below where we told the taxpayers we would be.
All right, thank you, Mr. Boyd. Next item, D, Student Services 1, Fine Arts Program Update. Ms. Loshbeach.
Yeah, if I could set this up really quick, we have 4 programs that, in looking at the past several years and going through the board meetings, they've come up at different times, but not really in a systematic way as far as review and just an update. And those 4 programs are Advanced Academics, CTE, Athletics, and Fine Arts. So the administrative team, we've kind of gotten together and decided to do it in a more systematic way. And I believe this year is Fine Arts and Advanced Academics, and then next year will be Athletics and CT, and those will just be on a rotation. And there are several presentations that some would come forward every year, some would come forward every 3 years, some we didn't know when they were coming. And so, for example, Communities in Schools, that one will be here every 3 years. We will not hear that every year because the contract hasn't really changed, and neither of us has the services. Every 3 years, we may have new board members at that particular point, so it would make sense to do that every 3 years. So, Katrina, you are the leadoff hitter, and as you can tell by the celebrations, we have had an exceptional year with respect to fine arts. We climbed the classification. We went from 5A to 6A, but it didn't stop the school district. Our students did a fantastic job, and they outcompeted anybody. It doesn't matter what A they're in. And I think Katrina will go through some of those celebrations. We're very proud of our programs. They're very diverse, probably some of the most diverse programs that we have in the school district. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Katrina. And you have done a fine job, Katrina. You truly have. We really appreciate your leadership. Thank you.
Well, good evening. Thank you for letting me speak this evening. I'm going to start us off with a little marketing video that we created at the beginning of the year. Hi, I'm Ms. Lotspeech. I'm the Director of Fine Arts for Temple ISD. I lead all of the fine arts programs here in the school district. I had so much fun when I was a fine arts student. I made new friends, I learned a lot, and had a great time doing it. Welcome to the fine arts programs. Some of my best memories from high school is traveling with the orchestra. And we went to Disneyland one time, had a great time. Don't remember much of Disneyland. Remember the bus trip. We had a blast, made so many new friends, and some of those people I'm still in touch with. So that was really an awesome experience. We're a family, and that's what our programs are. We're a family. You can tell that I really love fine arts, but you don't have to take my word for it. I brought a couple friends along. They're going to tell you their fine arts stories too.
What was so valid to me was being part of a group, we were a family type thing, and we played together. We traveled to all the football games and all the marching contests. We did things outside of school as a group, as friends, lifelong friends that you do make. Jazz band, it brings you out of your comfort zone. It makes you experience more by being a soloist. You get to do things by yourself and just enjoy it and play music.
Choir and theater were so important to me because they were an emotional outlet for me. I could be expressive in my music. I could be expressive in my lines and my characters that I played. They gave me an opportunity to deal with some of the emotional things that I had going on when I was in middle school and high school. And in addition to that, my directors in middle school and high school were like second parents to me. They took care of me whenever I needed somebody to look after me, and they supported me in everything I did, my academics, as well as my extracurricular activities and getting ready to go to college and all of those things.
We are so excited to explore the arts with you next year. So remember, when you're choosing your classes as a sixth grader, choose the arts. So we had that produced this year, and each one of you should have one of our bracelets that we were handing out about Choose the Arts, and that's kind of been our slogan for the year. So I'm going to give you a little overview of the Fine Arts program. At the moment, we have certified music specialists. I'm going to start with elementary. We have certified music specialists at all 8 of our elementary and certified art specialists at 7 of the elementaries with a paraprofessional at the 8th. And beginning the fall of 2020, we'll have certified music and art at all 8 elementary schools, which is something not all of the surrounding school districts have. So that is really amazing. Our elementary students participate in art and music at least once a week, depending on the schedule, and we teach 100% of our elementary students come through the art and music programs. We currently have, and these are averages of the year, we currently serve about 3,918 K through 5 students in art and music. Meridith-Dunbar also has a paraprofessional who does art instruction with our little ones, and with our pre-K. So when you add that up, pre-K through 5, we serve 4,491 students are receiving regular fine arts instruction every week through our pre-K through 5th grade elementary programs. We also are unique that we have an elementary orchestra program. We start orchestra in the 5th grade. And we currently have about 132 5th graders across the district that participate in the orchestra program. And we'll bring them all together next week at the Mabern Center along with middle school and high school. If you've never seen that, it's quite a sight. Our middle school programs, we offer 5 strands of fine arts at middle school. Band, choir, and orchestra are our music strands, and then theater arts and visual arts. And before I start going numbers, there are a couple numbers you're going to see, and you may look at that and go, the fine arts director can't do math. Well, I can do math. We look at 2 different sets of numbers. We have seat numbers, which are the number of students that are taking individual fine arts courses. So if a student is enrolled in 2 or 3 fine arts courses, they count 2 or 3 times. Then I'll have what we call our unduplicated number. That's the actual number of warm bodies. Those are the actual students that are taking 1 or more fine arts. So you'll see kind of 2 sets of numbers here. So in our middle school programs, you can see I've got it broken down by middle school. Travis, being an IB school, fine arts is considered a core class, so 100% of our students are in fine arts courses. So you'll see the art numbers pretty high over at Travis because we do have a lot more students in those programs over there. That kind of gives you an idea of the number of students across the various different programs at each middle school. To kind of put it together, and these are our unduplicated numbers, Lamar has about 426 students, about 77% of their population is in a fine arts class. Travis is at 100%. Bonham is 546, which is about 83% of their population. So district-wide, about 87% of our middle school students are in fine arts programs. High school, we have our band, orchestra, we add dance, theater arts, visual arts, and choir. We also have advanced academic programs through fine arts in high school. We have IB music, IB theater, and IB visual arts. And it's rare to have a diploma program with that many of what are the group 6, the fine arts programs in IB, which is wonderful. We also have AP art in an art history, and then we have AP studio art as well. So our high school enrollment, as you can see, kind of goes across, and as you see again, visual arts is our largest number. We have a lot of students that take visual arts. We've got pretty good representation across the board. And when I come across that fine arts enrollment, the 1728, that is the seat count. So that's where we have multiple students. So we have 1,341 high school students that are taking 1 or more fine arts classes. So that's almost 400 students taking multiple fine arts classes, which is really, really awesome. So we're very proud of these numbers. District enrollment, district-wide in secondary, we have 3,007 unduplicated, that's our unduplicated number, in fine arts, which is about 74%. That's grades 6 through 12. And then, of course, when I add our elementary kiddos in there, we have 7,498 students, Temple ISD, that are in fine arts programs. So these are pretty good numbers. We're very, very proud of what our programs offer our students and the number of kids that are in them. So it's pretty cool. So a few accomplishments. We had more than 87 students in the TMEA all-region ensembles, that's band, choir, orchestra. We had 13 students advance to area, and we had 2 all-state students, including one who was ranked first in the state on saxophone. So that was pretty awesome. Our UIL marching band, straight superior ratings for the I don't know how many times, even though we went up a level. Solo and ensemble, we have 49 students competing at Texas State Solo and Ensemble Contest, that should say June. They moved it on us. So they will be going down to Austin to compete at state level for Solo and Ensemble Contest. Concert sight reading, we had 7 bands, 7 orchestras, and 9 choirs. That's more than we've taken in quite a while to contest. Our groups consistently received superior and excellent ratings, and we had 14 sweepstakes, which means they received a superior rating in both concert and in sight reading. So those are some pretty good numbers. We're very proud of them. Of course, our one-act play advanced to state and came in 5th. And we had the 8 students that advanced to theatrical design at state, and our group design won 5th place. We decided the number 5 was our number for the year. We also had 3 prose and 2 poetry students that were district champs at UIL academic contest as well. So they're knocking it out of the park. For our art students, we had 34 high school entries in VASE. We had 28 receive gold medals and 2 qualified for the state VASE contest. We had 61 middle school students enter junior VASE with 39 gold medals and 1 platinum medal, which I just received this information. That is the middle school equivalent of state. So we had a middle school junior VASE student that did very, very well. Our dance program, we premiered 2 new programs this year through our band, our Winter Guard and Indoor Drumline. Those are programs that normally you see them in the fall, the drumline out on the marching field, the color guard with the band. Those programs competed into the spring. It was a way for us to keep our drumline going and our color guard going into the spring semester, and they actually did compete this year and go out and do some performances, and they did really well for their inaugural year. We're very proud of them. So we hope to continue those. We have plans to continue those in the coming years. THS Theater, we had 26 students advance from state to nationals as part of Thespians. They're going to be going to Nebraska in June. And our dance program, we have multiple officer and team awards, and the really cool thing about dance is we have added a director. So we now have help with dance, and we have gone to a non-varsity drill team and a varsity drill team. So we will have 2 drill teams, and we are expanding the dance program down to Travis Middle School to give them some help with IB and another place that they can have some other options over at Travis. So we're very, very excited about our dance program and the way that it's growing. It's doing great things. Middle school theater participated in our one-act play, and Lamar Middle School won for the first time in 7 years. We were very proud of Lamar. 12 elementary art students had their artwork printed on TISD Christmas cards. You got to see that in December. And Natasha Tollison was recognized as the Texas Theater Teacher of the Year by Texas Educational Theater Association. So we've had some really, and that's the drive-by of our accomplishments for the year. There's a lot more. And the college and scholarships, as Dr. Ott said, we are going to have our first signing day next Friday at 1 o'clock in the Temple High School Library. I'm very, very excited about this. I'm a little nervous about it, but it's going to be wonderful. We have about 11 students, if I did my math right this evening, and that we're going to be recognizing, and they're going to be majoring in music or music education or art or theater. And so we're very, very excited for these students and to be able to recognize them. Looking forward, new and renovated facilities. When the construction for the 2015 bond, which you were just talking about, is completed, Fine Arts will have dedicated art, band, orchestra, and theater classrooms at all 3 middle schools, which you have never had, and that they're designed for them. 2 of our middle schools will have choir rooms that have been designed, and the 3rd one we're still working on. But that is amazing that our fine arts programs have rooms that are designed for those programs, and we're very thankful for that. The high school is moving along. I saw them out there drilling holes to work on that foundation, which makes me very excited. So we can't wait to get moved into the high school next summer, and that's going to be wonderful. Another thing we're looking forward to, we're going to be doing a full fine arts evaluation next year. We're going to be looking at our curriculum, our facilities, equipment, staffing, resources, and take a look at how do we compare to comparable districts around the state. Where are we? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? And where can we start moving into correcting anything or working on improving? We're going to continue community outreach. We're so excited to see Santa Fe Plaza. We were hoping it would be open in May because we actually had some plans for it, but fortunately that didn't work. But we are going to be planning some events in that plaza next school year to do community outreach. We've had some really great events this year. Our art teachers did a program at Meridith-Dunbar this Christmas. They did like an art make and take, and we had a huge turnout for that event. It was really wonderful that the community came out. We did that again in March at the high school. We've also had different schools. Ray Allen did a parent art night and had a huge turnout for that. We've had things where they did painting with a jingle for some of our teachers and staff. So we've had some really great community outreach within the fine arts programs, and we definitely want to continue that and take our programs to the community instead of asking the community to always come to us. So that's a big goal, and we've enjoyed some great success. And our last looking forward is the arts integration, going from STEM to STEAM. Beth Jenowitz and I are going to be going to a training in Austin in June with people from the Kennedy Center, who are kind of the premier people on arts integration across the nation. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to say and learning a little bit more about how this works. And that's kind of the drive-by of where our program is. And I'm going to finish you up with a video that is kind of a quick year in review. was a quick drive-by of our year in fine arts. All the music that you heard, those were all Temple ISD student groups. None of that was canned music. Those were all our kids that were performing. So before I close out, does anyone have any questions for me?
I just want to say this was an excellent presentation, and thank you and staff for what y'all have done for Temple ISD. The arts are truly an important cornerstone of the district. And
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have amazing, amazing staff, and thank you for your support because you make these programs possible. And when I go to meetings with other fine arts administrators and I hear the struggles that some of them are encountering, and I'm going, I don't have that problem. My world's not quite as bad. So y'all are fabulous. We appreciate the support for all of these programs and for my amazing teachers. And thank you for your attention this evening.
Thank you very much. All right, next item is E, Board Committee Reports. Facilities Committee update. The meeting was held on April 25th, 2019 at 4 p.m. Mr. Gaines.
Thank you, Mr. Posey. I have a project update here. Stantec has completed a draft of its master plan for the auxiliary service facility. The administration will review the documents with Stantec and then present it to the facility committee on the May meeting. The team anticipates the final plan will be completed and ready for presentation in the summer. The committee was given construction updates on auto tech, fine arts, SPED, improvements at Temple High School, as well as the projects at Scott, Western Hills, Travis, and Lamar. All projects on schedule and within budget. The committee will tour SPED, auto tech projects at Temple High School at the May meeting. Our next meeting will be held on May 30th at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Mr. Gaines, thank you very much. E2 is Policy Committee update. The meeting was held on April 24th, 2019 at 4 p.m. Mrs. Davis.
A brief update is for legislative issues. A brief update on the recent legislative developments was given. Discussions on continuing between the House and Senate Education Committees with no decisions at this time. Many calls are being received in Representative Hugh Shine's office regarding increase in property values. District values must be within a certain range or it affects school district funding levels from the state. The legislative session has 39 days left, and that's as of our last meeting. If the school finance bill is not approved in the regular session, the budget process for school districts with a July 1st budget cycle will be affected. CW Local, naming facilities. The copy of our most recent draft will be sent to TASB for review and formatting. Temple ISD was a new TASB policy representative. Highlights of this draft include maintaining a running list of names for consideration, coordinating through the communications department, and developing an official nomination form for name submissions. The full board will be provided an updated list with additions, changes are made, when changes or additions are made. EIC Local, Academic Achievement Class Ranking. Language has been added to include highest ranking student in the policy when referring to valedictorian and honor graduate certificate. This policy will be sent to TASB for review and will be requested approval at the May 13th board meeting. Appraisal waiver policy, which is DNA Local. Currently, local policy states that teachers are appraised annually. State law allows for less frequent appraisals. Mr. Palmer is investigating the option of appraising teachers rated proficient or higher every other year. Mr. Haugeberg is working with TASB. Dr. Sandy mentioned that previously students could complete a survey on teachers. She wanted to know if the district still conducted that survey. Mr. Haugeberg stated the district conducts a student climate survey. He will research this topic and report back at the next meeting. Friends of TISD. The district currently has 3 nominations for consideration. It was decided to recognize Mr. Elliott Germany in June or July 2019. Mr. Thomas Baird and Mr. Bob Browder will be considered for recognition in the fall of 2019. Transfer policy and procedures. Mr. Haugeberg reviewed the transfer policy and procedures flowcharts of how the system works. Transfer renewal request opened on March 18th. Returning transfer students are reviewed each year by the campus principal, and a recommendation is made to the assistant superintendent of student services based on students' attendance, grades, and discipline. It's discipline history. Approval or denial letters will be mailed before June 24th, 2019. For new transfer requests will be accepted beginning Monday, April 15, 2019. The approval or denial letters will be mailed by June 28th. Future items and our information request. Mr. Haugeberg asked if there were any items the committee would like to see or any information they wanted to request. There were none. The meeting was adjourned at 5 p.m. The next policy committee meeting will be May 29th, 4 p.m.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Davis. Item B is consideration for approval of board policy EIC local. Mr. Haugeberg.
Tonight, we're going to combine the policy review with the proposed addition to EIC local. This is the policy related to class ranking. In your board packet, there should be a red line version. First, class rank is based on designated core courses listed at the beginning of this policy. These courses are reviewed annually by the curriculum department, particularly when new courses are added to the course catalog. Graduating seniors, including any student who might have applied for early graduation, are ranked by the weighted sum of all the high school core course numeric semester averages of these designated courses. Core and foreign language courses taken in middle school for high school credit are also included. Weighted sum means that some of these courses, such as AP and IB, earn additional points when calculating rank and GPA. And also transfer students receive numerical grades for their work in another district and are included in these calculations. If a student has a rank of 4.0 or higher, they're designated as graduating with honors. Also, in order to be considered in the top 10% of your graduating class, a student must have completed the recommended and distinguished program. There's a residency requirement in order to be named valedictorian and salutatorian. A student must have been enrolled by the second week of the spring semester of their junior year, so they needed to have been with us for a minimum of a year and a half. The district typically goes to the 100th place in making these calculations, but by policy, we can use more if needed. If two students are tied, they both will receive the honor, which leads us to the proposed additional language to EIC local. In reviewing various policies across the state, and in order to be more accurately match the Texas Education Code and TEA, we recommend approval of the following language to this policy. This is a straight addition. A student meeting the local criteria for recognition as the valedictorian shall also be considered the highest ranking graduate for purposes of receiving the honor graduate certificate from the state of Texas. So that's the additional redlined piece in your packet. And again, the district administration recommends this language approval.
Thank you. Are there any questions? It does require a motion.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Gaines,
I'll second.
seconded by Mrs. Gowan. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you. And with that, this concludes our meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you very much for coming tonight.